It all started with a lawyer's letter to the CBI getting leaked. This lawyer complained that Mahua Moitra was getting kickbacks, favors from a prominent businessman to ask the right kind of questions against Gautam Adani in Parliament. That this businessman used her credentials, used her MP login to type in the queries that should be asked. About 51 of the 60 queries were decided based on this. Mahua dismissed this, saying he was a jilted ex, that they're fighting for custody over their dog. Then you had the businessman in question, Darshan Hiranandani, coming out and saying that, yes, I did do that. Yes, I directed Mahua to ask certain questions. And yes, I did gift her certain items. I paid her money in exchange for that. This is blown up right now. Mahua Moitra continues to defend herself. Let's get you all the latest on this big story in our report.
The cash for query case against Mahua Moitra has taken one sensational turn after another. Accused businessman Darshan Hiranandani in a bombshell letter has now claimed that yes, he bribed Mahua for raising Adani-related questions in Parliament. But it is Darshan Hiranandani's mention of using the MP login that stirred a hornet's nest. The businessman in his letter claimed he used Mahua's login several times into the Parliament internal site to post queries that he wanted her to ask. Darshan in his letter said, and I quote, "I continue to draft and post questions using her parliamentary login whenever needed." But the TMC MP has hit back, alleging that the Prime Minister's office forced him to sign a white paper that was later leaked to media. Mahua further alleged that it's BJP government's bid to shut her up on the Adani issue.
In the face of slew of allegations, Trinamool Congress firebrand MP Mahua Moitra remains defiant. She has said in a statement that she is willing to face any investigation, be it by the Central Bureau of Investigation or a probe conducted by the Ethics Committee of the Parliament.
The allegations against Mahua are now before the ethics panel in Parliament, which will decide on whether action must be taken against the TMC MP.
देखिए अभी सबसे पहले उन दोनों लोगों ने जिन्होंने कंप्लेंट किया है, दोनों लोगों को 26 तारीख को ही बुलाया गया है, ठीक है। उसके बाद अभी हीराचंदानी जी का एफिडेविट आया, उसको भी एग्जामिन करेंगे। एग्जामिन करने के बाद आवश्यकता महसूस होगी तो निश्चित रूप से महua मोइत्रा को भी सम्मन किया जाएगा।
The BJP meanwhile has lashed out at Mamta, accusing her of a serious breach of trust.
महुआ जी गरीब के वोट से सांसद बनकर पार्लियामेंट में अमीर के एजेंट के रूप में काम करने के लिए वो आई थी। वो लोकतंत्र के लिए, पार्लियामेंट के लिए, अपने पूरे पार्लियामेंट्री सिस्टम के लिए ये शोभा नहीं देती है इस प्रकार का व्यवहार।
And seriously condemn this type of unethical practices by the TMC. She always loudly said against Honorable PM on the floor of the Parliament. Lok Sabha Ethics Committee should take appropriate action as early as possible.
So far, the TMC seems to have distanced themselves from the cash for query storm. Sources have told India Today that TMC has adopted a wait-and-watch policy before jumping to Mahua's defense. Mahua's attempt at getting legal relief via defamation case hit a roadblock as her counsel withdrew from the case, after the complainant alleged that Mahua's lawyer called him and attempted to convince him to drop the case.
I had reached out to him yesterday, that is correct, and had asked him, look, is there any way of exploring a settlement? That's all that the conversation was about. Jai had said he'd get back to me. He didn't get back to me. Today when I appeared, Jai personally said he had an objection to me appearing. I immediately withdrew and I said I don't want to do this case.
As Mahua's fate will be sealed by the Parliament Ethics Panel, the allegations of kickbacks or favours has led to an all-out political showdown. Bureau Report, India Today.
So what exactly has now businessman Darshan Hiranandani said about Mahua? Remember, he's called this an affidavit, but in the absence of it being on a letterhead, it's on a plain piece of paper, it remains a letter right now, not an affidavit. But I want to highlight for you exactly what he said about Mahua. There are some very damning bits here, and one that's led to an all-out showdown is this line here. We've highlighted some of the most important bits where he says Ms. Moitra drafted a few questions that would have elements to embarrass the government by targeting the Adani group. He follows this up by saying that yes, she shared her parliamentary details, her login details. She shared with me her email ID as a member of parliament, so I could send her information and she could raise the questions that I wanted essentially in Parliament and Darshan wanted. Darshan continued to draft and post questions using her, Mahua's parliamentary login whenever needed, which means he had 100% full access. Whenever he felt the need, he'd log in and put in a question on her behalf. She kept asking me for various favors. Mahua Moitra, according to Darshan, was pressuring him for favors, and they were personal friends also. He concedes that in his letter. What kind of favors are we talking about? He elucidates on that as well, saying favors that were asked included gifting her expensive luxury items, providing support on renovation of her officially allotted bungalow in Delhi, travel expenses, holidays. Now, he hasn't given any details about the Louis Vuitton bags, the Gucci bags, the scarves, Hermes bags, none of that. That's something that the complainant lawyer has mentioned. He said that, yes, I gifted her expensive luxury items. I helped her with regards to renovating her house. I paid for her holidays. This is some of the highlights really of that letter that now Hiranandani has put out, which has once again triggered this massive storm over the allegations against Mahua Moitra. But politically, let's talk about really what's happening, the repercussions of this politically for Mahua Moitra. Indrajit Kundu is joining us, getting us the latest updates from Kolkata. Indrajit, good evening. What's very, very interesting in this saga really that's been playing out is that Mahua Moitra, of course, has been actively posting on social media to every charge, every allegation. She's responded categorically with long letters, with also, of course, clear justifications of what's happened. But there's been pin-drop silence from the Trinamool Congress. Why is that?
Well, absolutely, Akshita. That is the point. All these counterpoints that have come from Mahua Moitra herself. There has been no tweet, no statement coming in from the entire Trinamool Congress leadership. And that, is a statement in itself, because we know for sure that the Trinamool Congress leadership, the top leadership, including Bengal Chief Minister and Trinamool Congress Supremo Mamata Banerjee is well, aware of the matter. They are seized of the matter, and they are yet to take a decision. At this point in time, the party has decided to take it very slow and see how things pan out in the days to come, because Mahua Moitra has already, put out a defamation case with the Delhi High Court, so that's sub judice. Then the matter is also to come before the Ethics Committee. So the party now believes that it is for Mahua to fend for herself at this point in time. It's premature. They want to see how things pan out in the days to come. Yes, it is going to be an embarrassment for the Trinamool Congress, given the kind of serious allegations that have been leveled against one of its firebrand MPs, somebody who has been so vocal on social media, somebody who is known to be known for her firebrand speeches, which often go viral on social media. In that sense, the party is treading very cautiously. What we are given to understand, Mahua Moitra, of course, remains in Nadia district in her constituency, Krishnanagar. We've been trying to reach out to her all day today, and she has not spoken to the media at all, except for the tweets that she's putting out for the world. Mahua Moitra is going to remain in her constituency is what we are given to understand right now. It's Durga Puja time. It started today. The festivities will continue for the next 5 days.
Correct.
And after the festivities are over, possibly there will be a meeting of the Trinamool Congress Disciplinary Committee, which might take into consideration the entire case that has come out in the media right now. And possibly after that,
I think
there
what's
could
very
be some
clear
sort
is
of an
that,
action.
Indru, they're not rushing into Mahua's defense here. They're going to wait and see. They've adopted a wait-and-watch policy right now, which is why there's no comment that's coming from the Trinamool Congress. Mahua maintains that at this point, I'm going to enjoy Durga Puja festivities. She's been visiting pandals, going about her pujo, and has said that I'm going to go ahead and take this on in the courts, take this on legally. Thanks very much, Indrajit, for getting us all of those details. Away from the politics. Now, as we get you all of the characters involved, remember that this all stems from one man, from the complainant lawyer, from Jai Dehadrai. And here's what Mahua has said in response to his complaint. And it's very interesting to note how she's dismissed what he said. First, she says that Jai Dehadrai is nothing but is a jilted ex. He is her ex-boyfriend, and so she says that this is him acting out after the relationship ended. She's saying that this is nothing but a bit to somehow get back at me, and that's why he actually filed that letter, sent across that letter to the CBI. So her suggestion is that all of this is completely motivated. So why is it motivated? According to Mahua's letter, she says that Jai, the complainant lawyer, wants the custody of Henry. Henry is the dog they had together, a Rottweiler, and is right now in Mahua's residence, reportedly sometimes also in the complainant lawyer's house. And according to Mahua's letter, she hasn't stopped there. She says that one example of Jai wanting to get back at me is that he trespassed into my official residence to actually steal Henry. And she's given a date saying that Jai, the complainant lawyer, actually stole Henry on October 10th. And then later returned the dog. So there's actually, believe it or not, a custody battle over this dog, over this Rottweiler called Henry, between Mahua and the complainant lawyer, who she says is nothing but a jilted ex-lover. So it's very interesting to see how this really will play out. The complainant hasn't really spoken to the media, but has taken to social media repeatedly to put out statements saying the truth will always triumph.